What's up? Pinroller here. I'm having a great day and I hope you're having a fun one too. I'm here to share with you 5 pieces of advice that I would give myself before starting Nioh 2. In my case, it would be Nioh because I played Nioh 1 excessively and a lot of what I learned I applied to Nioh 2 and it made my wall love me for not punching any more holes in it. No, I didn't punch any holes, but I won't admit that I didn't cry inside. Sometimes. Okay, let's get into it. Advice number 1. Just play the main missions. The fastest way to get stronger is not to grind and farm. See, I did plenty of that, and I thought that if I just killed enough revenants, then I can get the glory, I can get the Amarita, and I'll be on the road to beast mode as fast as possible, which definitely was not the case. I think what I learned is the gameplay in the main missions, you learn the most because there's the bosses, you have the best gear that is usually dropped, or the most amount of gear that you could collect, and the length of the missions allow you to progress in the game much faster. That, and it also allows you to unlock the next region as quickly as possible. So what I would do is I would play all the main missions first, and then I would go back after a few regions ahead. I'd go back to the first region, and I will go back and pick up all of the side missions in the end. In my case, I actually had a lot of fun. I would play through, actually finish the game first, and then I would go and play the new game all the way through, and then I would go back and finish off the rest of the side missions. I think it just made it much more easier and quicker to unlock the stuff that I missed once I was able to easily beat the game and go back and collect that stuff. Okay, advice number 2. If you do grind or farm, then I would recommend doing the random encounters when you're not doing the main missions. I mostly do this to get the easy Achoko cups, gear, money, and smithing texts. And I do this mainly just without the stress. It's so nice to not think about losing the Amarita that I earned, and it's nice to help other people out when I'm not doing the main missions. And it also shows you some of the other builds, and you can see what other players are, what their gameplay is like and what their style is. Sometimes I would see some amazing players, they have a dual sword build that they're using really quite elegantly, and it's something that I would want to go back and figure out what are they doing and how I can apply that to my own gameplay. So random encounters, definitely a good thing to do on your downtime. Usually I would play through a main mission, and then I would just go through a few random encounters just to replenish my Achoko cups and the things that I mentioned, and as well as see what other players are doing out there. So that's advice number 2. Moving on to advice number 3. Don't summon visitors on the first run. There were many times when I just wanted to summon someone to help me get through this level as quickly as possible. I did that a lot in Nioh 1, and it kind of killed the game for me because I started Nioh quite late, and so there was a lot of beefy players that got me through the game, I'm not going to lie. And that definitely did not help when I was trying to teach myself how to play. I would just rely on someone else to beat the boss for me. And so I would advise to try the level first before summoning anybody. This also allows you to figure out the level, strategize. It's so common when you see new players summon me, and sometimes I'll be going through and they did not know that rock was coming, and they just get squashed. So it's nice to figure out for yourself what the level is like and what kind of hidden surprises they have especially in the trees. You better watch out for some of these levels. There's some big ass creatures in those trees, and they'll drop out of nowhere and snag you. So definitely take your time with the levels, pace yourself, take it slow in these main missions. Explore. That's really a fun thing in the game, is exploring and figuring out and strategizing where to go. And then once you've tried the level yourself, and if you find that this is quite hard, then consider summoning people. I know it's an easy out to just summon a stronger player to help you through it all. I have to admit that my first time playing through Nioh, I loved that I got through it so fast, and then I was able to level up quite quickly because I actually played through the game by getting other people to play for me. And then I kind of learned after the fact. So it wasn't quite challenging, or as challenging as it could have been. And I also regret that I didn't learn my first way through the game, and I summoned too much. Advice number 4. Pick one gear setup to get you through the game on your first run. So for me, I didn't dwell on getting too many or trying to build up different gear sets and getting an axe build or a ninjutsu build, and having multiple builds that could get me through. I know that some players like to do that. That's fine. But I think for me, getting through as quickly as possible and still learning how to master the game, because already the game is quite complex. You don't want to get caught up with learning new builds in the middle of the game. At least in my experience, I found it was very nice to just stick to one. For especially Nioh 2, I just picked the ninja build that everyone else is spamming. Thanks, P-War Gaming, for that ninja build. For the first half of the game, I was just spamming ninja stars left and right, but it got me through the game as quickly as possible, and it was fun. It was my first time actually trying a build like that. In Nioh 1, I was mostly a sword build or a Kusa build. And so it was nice to try something that I haven't tried before, but I stuck to that one build to get me through the entire game once. And then I started to explore, once I got to the higher levels, the different kinds of gear sets that I could set up for myself. Advice number 5. Master the ki pulse before anything else. I would say that mastering the ki pulse for me came really late in Nioh 1. What I did was I tried to learn the best gear to get. I tried to get leveling up really fast and grinding, but what I didn't learn was the mechanics of the ki pulse. I just thought that, it's nice, I can save a little ki here or there. It was only when I practiced it until it became second nature that I really understood how this game is played. And it's really about the timing and having the energy to ki pulse the buffs in the game, and you purify the yokai piddles all over the place, and the fighting became more intuitive and strategic once that ki pulse became second nature. I know it's weird at first because you just want to hit the guy and hit and you don't really think about the energy that you're expending. But when I was first starting out, I just thought that if I learned the right combos, that's the way to fight through the game. But when I learned how to really master that ki pulse, that's when the game really opened up for me. And that's the first thing that when I got into Nioh 2, I had to relearn how to do that ki pulse and the timing of it. And that changes over time, as you build your character and your ki pulse, or as your ki gets bigger, and also when it gets quicker and replenishes quicker, the timing is slightly off. So you just want to be prepared to always be practicing that ki pulse and making sure that it's being the most effective use in the game. And then definitely look into the ki pulse buffs. A lot of the extra damage, and if you see these players making massive amounts of damage, you're seeing right now, I'm in an axe build right now, and I'm doing a lot of damage, and a lot of that is because of the ki pulse. And it's the buffs that are allowing me to stack different stats on top of each other. So this is something that I'll make an entire video about it, but there's plenty of others out there anyway on it. But yeah, I think that definitely learning that part of the game really changed the way I played, and I wish I learned that earlier on in the gameplay than I did. So that is the 5 pieces of advice that I have for you, and I hope some of you just starting Nioh 2 or Nioh 1 find this helpful. Please comment below and give some more advice for others, because as you know, sharing is caring. Please jump on that like button if you found this video useful, and subscribe to the channel for more fun content. I'm really grateful for all of the support, especially as a channel in its infancy stage. And as always, giving my love to everyone who is watching. Be safe, and I will see you in the next video.